In this video, I'd like to talk a little bit about weight and balance. It's very critical. It's something that needs to be done on every airplane. I even encourage you on any home-built airplane that you might purchase ready to fly, I would not work off of their information that they have supplied you. The previous owner, you want to verify that you're within the parameters of that design. So anyway, these are the scales that we use. They're just, they're 400-pound maximum load. They work really well. What I don't like about them is when you put weight on them, it times out. It'd be nice if it would just stay there while you walked around and wrote down your numbers, but that's the only drawback. These are just little foam chocks, if you will, that we put on the scales to keep the airplane from rolling around once we got it in place. We'll talk a little bit more about that. As far as setting the airplane up, I have got this airplane setting level just for reference purposes, so we can look at things. Obviously, the wings aren't on it, the cowl cover's not there, but just so we can see what's going on. We're going to put the wings on this afternoon and do an accurate weight and balance, which will get you some more information on that. So, where do you start? You start with getting the airplane level. On the Ultra Cruiser and the H5 Humminbird, the side rail is the level spot. So you want to chock the mains, put something under the tail to get it level, knowing that you're going to have to put, when you roll it up on the scales, then you got to have the same scale on the tail as, you know, so it remains level. That's really important. Once it's level, we're going to measure the wheels. Actually, you're measuring to the axle for everything, and the datum on the Ultra Cruiser H5 Humminbird as we use is the leading edge of the wing. So this leading edge of the wing, and I put a line here on the fuselage just for reference, that's our datum, or that's the 0 point. So anything that we weigh, in our case, aft of the leading edge is going to be a positive number, because our CG is in this, is in the range of, we'll talk about that a little more too, but we like to use 12.5 inches to about 15.5, 16 inches. So that means that 12.5 inches from the leading edge is the front range, 16.5 is the back range, okay? So more on that later, but that's the purpose of this datum, is to get these measurements. So I like to take a string and a plumb bob. I just lay it against the leading edge, get it off the floor. You can see then once it stops moving around, then I just take a ruler and measure back to the axle. This one measured 1.75 inches. The design plan is actually 2 inches. So for whatever reason, this wheel and axle is a 1/4 inch aft. Then we'll come around to the other side and do the same thing. When I measured this one, it is 2 inches. Not a big deal. Don't worry about that. As scratch builders, I've seen them anywhere from flush to 3 inches to a 1/2 inch forward. If it gets too far beyond that range, beyond that 2 inch range, give us a call and we'll talk about if it's going to be a critical issue or not. Same thing then for the tail wheel. What I did here is I dropped the plumb bob and I put a mark down there on the floor, straight down, came back to the tail wheel axle, and I dropped a plumb bob, put a mark on the floor, and measured that, and that's 141 inches, which is to the plans. And this is a kit-built airplane, so I would expect that to be pretty accurate. Actually, all these numbers to be pretty accurate. So then we're going to we'll get it all set up. We'll do the weights. It'll give us an empty CG. Then we'll have somebody climb in the airplane, record the numbers again, write those down on all 3 scales, and we'll do the calculations in another video. So that's kind of how we're getting set up, ready to go.